What's going on, YouTube? It's Paradox here with another video here today, and I wanted to talk about something covered on IGN's Tech Fetish podcast. They were talking about this console cycle and how it's been selling really well, and I just want to take a little bit of time out to kind of address the idea of this console cycle being a 10-year cycle. Now, there's already been talk, and they mentioned this in the podcast, that this cycle is probably going to be shorter than the last one's. It's going to be a lot shorter. Last one we went about 8 years. I anticipate this one to actually be 4. I think they're going to undercut it 1 year than what we're used to, go for a 4-year cycle, and then implement the sort of movement that I'm going to be talking about in just a second. Now, if you have checked my Death of Console Gaming video, you will know exactly what I'm about to say and what I think will become of console gaming moving forward. Now, before I really get into my theory, I wanted to just address an idea that came up on the podcast, right? So they think, or there was talk about, consoles going into sort of the rotation that phones have now, where you're getting a new one every year, but you can sort of skip a year to two. You don't have to upgrade every single year. You can sort of skip a cycle, but if you skip a cycle, some things may not work on the older hardware. Like the example was, if you have an iPhone 3, you can't really run any of the newer games coming out for the platform, right? So first and foremost, I think as far as console development and console costs go, I don't think we're really ready to push that much, to have a new console every single year. And then the way games work, I don't think it will be very advantageous to really launch a brand new console every single year. But there was addressment of the fact that phones have trained us sort of to expect a new phone every year and to deal with that, so the average consumer can really deal with the fact that there are new phones coming out, every single year. Then again, the phone market is very diverse. There are a lot of different phones out there. As when you look at consoles, there's the big three, right? So I think that having a new console every year is a ludicrous idea, one, and I can't think of it gaining traction, right? I mean, obviously this could happen. I just don't think that it will. It can gain traction, but I think as far as the normal consumer and the mass market go, I don't think it would work very well. I think it would cause way too much confusion. I mean, look, you already have people who can't distinguish a Wii from a Wii U, and there are a lot of people who still don't know what the Wii U is. I'm not trying to take any jabs at Nintendo, but that's just something that I have noticed. So I think having a PlayStation 5, PlayStation 6, PlayStation 7, Xbox, whatever they're going to call it, because I still think the name Xbox One is absolutely ridiculous, but having a new one every year, I just do not think it will work. I think it will cost too much money on both sides, especially with game development already costing a whole lot. And for us we have to expect less or fewer AAA big budget exclusives because of these costs. I can't really get behind that notion, right? But what I do want to see is us move towards a PC like system. And there's actually a new PC coming out, or it's not actually coming out. It's still I believe it's still in the prototyping phase, and I believe it was from Razer. If I can find a link to this PC that I am talking about, I will put it down in the description just so you can go check it out, because it really caught my interest, right? So it was a modular PC. You would just kind of buy a new thing and you just plug it in. If you're familiar with the phone bricks, there was a phone like this. It was a modular phone. There were bricks on the back. If you wanted a bigger battery, you buy a larger brick, right? So you just put them on one by one and you kind of get the experience you want out of your phone. Now with this PC, it was the same thing. Somehow they were able to get all the parts the same exact connector, so you can just slot them in, right? You just slot them in on the PC, and if you wanted better graphics card, you just buy the upgrade, slot that one out, slot the new one in, boom, it's taken care of, right? It was easy, it was simple, and it helped, right? So I think consoles, the way that we're going to go is that they're going to be a platform. We're going to get one box, we're going to get a case, right? And then it's just going to be the standard case, but already you have all these expansions available. You want more RAM, boom, just buy it straight. You get the PlayStation RAM stick, whatever thing, install that yourself, boom, there you go. You have more RAM. Now you can run, whatever the newest game is at ultra settings or whatever, right? But if you don't have that, maybe you have to stick to low, or maybe you have to stick to medium, right? It's probably going to be medium or whatever. So maybe you want a better CPU, boom. So that way the companies stay in the manufacturing, they stay in the hardware business, and they stay in the software business. Now you have it affiliated with this brand, right? You still have the brand affiliation, you still have your exclusives, but you give the consumer more range, and it gives your studios more range to make better games and just flex their muscle, right? So that's kind of what I think that will happen, and I really want to know, what do you guys think about that? Would you get behind a more PC kind of modular console idea? Somewhat like the Steam boxes, which have unfortunately been delayed, all except for Alienware's, which has finally received a price and will be coming out later this year, I believe, and I might pick that up, actually. I'm thinking about picking that up because it looks very intriguing. However, I do kind of want to bump it up with an i7 and some more RAM or whatever. So I think that'll cost me around $1,000, which I don't really have right now. But what do you guys think of the modular console? How long do you think this console generation will last? Are you happy with your console? Are you happy with your PC? If you have a PC, how are you doing right now? What games are you playing? Let's get some things going in the comment section here. So that is it for this video. I'm Paradox. I will see you guys later. Peace.